it makes you like feel it like it's emotional, right? I'm trying to trigger an emotional response with, Red Mill. Like, what does that mean? I'm trying to make it mean something.
We're here at the Do Food Podcast with Jeremy from Red Mills, and we're going to talk about his story and kind of get a little bit of a gist on what they do at Red Mills. So, Jeremy, what's up?
Nothing much. Just walked down Hunter Street, and now I'm here. So
Yeah?
I'm pretty excited.
Do you come into Peterborough often, or you're out of town, right?
Yeah. We're from Millbrooke, so yeah, in and out. Just, I guess, weekly, but not that much, to be honest. Downtown, come here, go to the restaurants and stuff. But
Yeah. What are your spots?
I like Dr. J's. Dr. J's is good.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, 180 is pretty good. I heard Hanoi House is good too.
You like Hanoi?
Yeah.
Do you
I haven't tried it yet, but I heard it's good.
You heard it's good?
Yeah.
You ever had Vietnamese food? It's unique. It's different.
I don't know. I had a Thai food. I always have Thai food, but
Yeah. Did you grow up around like different varieties of food, or were you kind of stuck with like what you got at home?
yeah, it's mostly, I don't know what you're supposed to call it, but like mostly like Canadian food.
Yeah.
I make a pretty good pad Thai though.
Do you?
I have to admit, yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you do the OG or do you use sauce?
It's called we sell it, Suzanne's Hot Stuff. It's like a wicked Thai maple ginger sauce. Use that, mix it with a little bit of pad Thai sauce too that you buy at the grocery store. But
Suzanne's maple ginger, or what is it?
Suzanne's wicked Thai maple ginger sauce.
Maple ginger sauce.
Yeah, it's pretty
Really?
good.
You think maple pairs well with with Asian cuisine, or like do you think it would pair well with noodles in a way?
Depends what you use it for, right? I mean, Asian cuisine is pretty
Sweet and spicy?
yeah, so you need to get it in the right hands. You need someone, I don't know, you need someone that like knows what he's doing to make it. So I don't know. It's my go-to spot's probably Dr. J's. That's where I go for my birthday. Make pretty good ribs there. So
Barbecue, eh?
yeah.
You ever check out Muddy's out in Keene?
No, never.
No, eh?
I don't know. I'm more of like we're like we talked about that. We talked about that earlier. Like it's more like convenience.
Convenience, like wherever.
Like, I mean, we're only like 20 minutes from Peterborough, but I know that these places are open right now.
Yeah.
But if I go to Keene, like I don't know about Keene. I don't know.
Yeah, you don't know if like Muddy's would be open or if they have like
That's
a
the
website
thing.
or
We
social
get the
media.
same thing. Like people don't know if we're open because we're open. Like we're open at the farm. We're open pretty much all the time. So we live there. But we like it better when people call ahead and stuff because sometimes you don't hear them but.
Of course, yeah.
Or like we're gone. If you're gone for a weekend and somebody drops by, then.
Would you rather be? Are you more focused on like online sales, or are you more focused on trying to get people in the door at your brick and mortar? Like, do you have a brick and mortar on your
Yeah.
property?
We have like a little it's basically like a workshop. Like it was our workshop, and then we sectioned it off with a curtain,
Nice.
and now we have like shelves and stuff, and a table and cash register, everything square, everything like you can drop by and buy whatever you want. But I'm more into building a brand that we can kind of, generate sales online. So if we get, sales online, and then once you have an image online, then you can sort of branch out into those retail chains as well. So right now we're in 10 retailers, and then online is doing good, right? Not always steady, but
Whereabouts?
We've got like in Peterborough, we've got Peterborough Food Shop, which is down. It's on that Water Street, and then we have Delectable Fine Foods in Peterborough as well.
Yeah.
Then we have Kawartha Country Wines in Buckhorn, Mariposa Farm Market in Oakwood. Who else do we have? We have. Hold on. This is working its magic here. We have we have Market and S'more in Coburg, Findings on King in Colburn, and then we have Lassen Ladle in Grafton. So like it's like we're in like Peterborough, Northumberland, like in the independent retail stores, but we're not really in the we're in Foodland in Millbrooke, but we're working on getting in those independent retail stores all across Ontario. But it's all about like if your product can move on the shelf. Like people don't really like the stores, they can do their advertising all they want about your product, but it's really like the people that walk in the door, do they know you before they walk in the door? And that's how you're going to be successful in this industry. Like retail, obviously we're in two different industries. You're in like a service restaurant type of industry, where I'm in retail, so
well, it depends. It depends, because you can also factor into, you can also be in the wholesaling industry as well,
we're
right?
Like stores is wholesale. So
when there's catering is wholesaling in a sense as well. Right.
Yeah.
Restaurants are one of these things that you don't really take into account until you got one, where when you are a retail space, this is as far as retail as you can get, because as soon as a customer enters that door, that's just how then you gotta appeal the customer. That's how it works in the retail sense, right? Like you gotta make sure that customer's happy every time he comes in and every time he leaves. Yeah. And he comes back. Yeah. And that's the hardest part, is getting them back in the door, right? Yeah. And you're right, the convenience aspect is tough, because
I know. That's why online, right? Like online there's you can go on our website, order this right here. You can order this whatever you want on the website that we carry, right? But you won't have it on your door right away, right? It'll take like a couple days, but that's why we're in Foodland in Millbrooke, right? Just little stuff, right? Like in Millbrooke, like people can drop by to our place and buy the maple syrup and stuff, but there's lots of friction, right? It's friction. So I'm trying to eliminate the friction in between the consumer and us. So if you can, if it's more convenient to go pick up a bottle at the local Foodland, well, and you like our maple syrup just because, we have, it's good. And when you look at our logo, or when you eat it, you consume it, it makes you like feel it like it's emotional, right? I'm trying to trigger an emotional response with, Red Mill. Like, what does that mean? I'm trying to make it mean something. So I think it's just eliminating the friction in between the consumer and the
Is it hard to put a story? Is it hard for you to kind of get people to figure out the story behind the brand? Is that the difficulty? Or is it kind of like, because you're a family-oriented brand, right?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
You're family-focused. Your whole concept is, I assume.
Oh yeah.
So
well, it's my dad and I that we're the ones that run it, right? My dad, he's the one that he does the production part. So he'll do, like, we have bourbon, rye, maple. Like he's the one that does all the, like, the man. Like, he packages the orders, puts labels on, he makes the syrup himself as well. I'm the one that takes care of the social media, the image. I'm on this podcast right now. I'm the one that does the networking.
But you're out on the field.
But he's on the field as well, but he's just in a different type of space, and I think that's the way we complement each other, is that we're different, right? He's more of a hands-on guy. I'm more of like, I'd rather talk and make a name with like talking, and he's more of like, he doesn't mind grinding and just working 16 hours just to get an order on time. But I'd rather go networking. We had influencers. I hired a couple influencers, and I like doing that part. So like the story part isn't really hard, because I have like my own, like, it's not really hard. I'm always on the field. I'm always in the same place, right? I don't need to move. I live there. Yeah. So I can just document what he's doing, or what we're doing. It's all about documenting. That's what I think. That's the way I find the stories, right? So Yeah.
Documenting like hard
Yeah,
parts
yeah.
of it.
So like here, like I would document, like I would go on Instagram stories and
Correct.
take a video and be like, hey, I'm with Ohm doing a podcast, being a guest on his podcast. So that would be
cross promotion. And
right. Yeah. So I do lots of cross promotion too, and
Well, that's
it
good.
seems to work well. So.
Yeah, and so I think that's how. Well, I've noticed like the whole YouTube kind of generation, the vlogging generation.
Yeah.
It's kind of how they got up the ladder. They leapfrogged off each other and kind of veered towards that.
Yeah.
So tell me, what in the sense of food, like, do you think maple syrup is like a good sugar or a bad sugar, or do you think sugar is bad, or?
I think maple syrup, like, it's in the same realm as like honey, right? Like honey's like
A natural.
it's a natural sugar. Maple syrup's the same thing, natural sugar. That like the only processing like is just you get the maple sap, which is basically water with like 2% sugar in it, and then you boil it up into these ones are 60, like all the maple syrup to be considered maple syrup needs to be at 66% sugar.
Yeah.
So it's not it's like a natural sugar. It's got, I mean, I used to use that, like it's got antioxidants and all this fun stuff, but you could say that just about anything that's natural, you know, it's good for you and everything. Obviously, we use maple syrup, like if you're making a banana bread, you don't want to use like white sugar, brown sugar.
You got it.
Might as well use maple syrup, right? So,
Yeah.
But obviously, like it's like I know like it's not good. I won't say like use it on everything because it doesn't go on everything, but it goes on
certain things.
Right? It can take a meal from like a salmon if you use it properly. You can take a salmon from just a regular salmon to just like
a beautifully
restaurant quality
maple
salmon.
glazed salmon.
Exactly.
Yes.
Like it's that type of stuff too, right? And depends when you want to use it too.
So when aging it in a cask,
Yeah.
because I know that's what you do, and you've got two here.
Yeah. You'll have to
just
try
go
those.
go over that with me. So what do you got? What do you got here right now that is different from each one? You got a bourbon and a rye aged.
Yeah. So this one is a rye barrel aged maple syrup from. We used the last cask we used was from Black's Distillery, Peterborough.
Nice.
Keeping it local. My dad always wants to keep it
As local as possible.
Yeah, I
Good
mean,
man.
yeah. So we kept it local with that one, and then I don't know if I don't know if we'll discontinue that one or whatever, but we always want to kind of have stuff in and then have stuff out so people miss it and then they want to come back for more, right?
Gotcha. Yep.
And then this is bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. We had to put the gold label on there because it tastes like gold. It's like liquid gold basically, and that's aged in I shouldn't be saying this, but I mean this is a podcast. This is a super casual one. It's Buffalo Trace.
Nice.
So it's aged in the cask for 6 months, and I don't know. It's a different product than. Like nobody in this region, and we're one of the only ones in Ontario. Like there's a handful of people that do it in Ontario, but we're in that handful that do it, and it just kind of elevates the product to another level, and it's more for the niche type of clientele, right? Like
yeah.
The woman or the men that come in and they're like,
Give me something different.
Give me something that'll be different than just regular maple syrup, and that's what it is. Great for cocktails, you know, like great for cocktails, great for like your meats, like ham and pork and stuff like that. But it's really a finisher, like because
it's a finishing maple syrup, eh?
Yeah, it's not
That's
like
how you'd classify that.
yeah.
That's
I would
different.
call it a finisher because you don't want to ruin the. You don't want to basically cook it and burn off the like the type of the alcohol flavor that's in it. You don't want to. You don't want to. Like you want to use it as a finisher, just to finish off a glaze or something, because you don't want to ruin the hard work like that
goes into
it, right?
making that
Or
bottle. Yeah.
If you want to use it for cooking, like I would use dark maple syrup because just your basic, right? Like if you would do like I don't know maple caramelized onions for one of your burgers, I would use the dark maple syrup. But obviously, I'm not the.
But if
the
you're
chef
going
here,
with
but-
like a cocktail root or
Yeah,
something,
yeah.
you want to finish it with one of these
Like-
beautiful, like
yeah. I mean, it's all about like how much flavor can you actually get. Like
yeah.
if you want to do like something and you really want to get the bourbon flavor and the maple flavor, maybe go with the dark maple syrup and then add some straight bourbon on it, right?
Oh, that's cool.
You know, but if you want to have more something delicate and I mean, go with that. But it's, I don't know, it's really how you want to use it as well. And it's a lot of like these products are more for like gift giving too. I find a lot of people like the gifts.
Yeah.
So it's more, I mean, I don't want to sound like mean or anything, but it's like a status type of thing too. Like if you show up to a party and you come with a bourbon barrel aged maple syrup and you give it to your friend or your grandpa or something, people are going to be like, you know, it's not just regular maple syrup, it's bourbon barrel aged maple syrup. That's what I'm trying to get to, is like, you know, we need to be a company that
niches a market,
yes,
essentially, that controls a niche that
exactly.
is that creates beautiful hard products that aren't replicated anywhere else.
Yeah, that's my thing. Niche down the niche. So if you could do, like, we need to really niche down the niche, and that's how you're gonna find it's just trying stuff, you know, like cinnamon,
experimental.
Yeah,
yes.
like our cinnamon infused stuff, like it's.
What made you come up with the cinnamon infused?
Yeah, so
you just decided, hey,
when we were bottling, I just told my dad we should just try to put a cinnamon stick in there, and then we put a cinnamon stick while bottling, let the bottle sit for a day, tasted it after, tasted
Beautiful.
good.
Yeah.
Tasted good, and then once it tastes good, we did that in April of 2020.
Really?
And then we knew that timing, like the cinnamon infused one right now is not selling because it's in July. We're in July right now. I mean, we're almost in July, but it's the heart of the summer. You know, people would rather. That's the thing with maple syrup too in marketing, is that maple syrup in the summer is a lot harder to sell than maple syrup in the winter or in the fall, because in the fall people are doing fall baking, you know, that type of stuff, Christmas, all that. But in the summer, I would much rather have a drink like this
as opposed to something that is
being inside
warm.
And, you know, making like warm pancakes or something like that.
Well, cinnamon is a warm herb,
exactly,
right?
yeah,
It's warm spice. So see, I think that's another thing that I've always been interested in talking to you, is like, have you ever veered the curiosity to like Indian food? Or are you more like scared of Indian food?
No. I go to that's another place that's really good, is Ariana. You know Ariana in downtown Peterborough?
Like right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, those guys?
Yeah. I don't know if it's shawarma. I'm a big shawarma guy.
So that's Middle Eastern.
That's Middle Eastern. That's not Indian. Okay.
So it varies, but it's Middle Eastern, like in like kind of Arabish cuisine. So it's beautiful. Like you can get Lebanese shawarmas, you can get any kinds of shawarmas out there. There's Osmos, there's Ariana, there's you know, but if you go, like, there's and it's just kind of like the samosa debate. There's nobody there is gonna admit that, you know, we're the first people that created
exactly.
it.
Yeah.
Everybody's just gonna say it. So in Dubai, you get shawarmas, and they're like little foot long, or like little kind of skewers, like burritos that you can just like muck down. Okay. You get 2 or 3 of them, and you just muck them down. And my dad's been, and he took I guess a buddy of his took him to a spot where all the cab drivers go. Yeah. And my dad was like, hey, take me to some good shawarma. So they took him to a good shawarma spot. All these cabbies are there. You got like 2 of these small, thin, breaded, no like crappy pita rip apart shawarma, and he mucked them, and it was so good. And I was like, that's insane, man. Yeah. Those are some cool spots. Yeah. So so shawarma. So you like shawarma. Now, do you get just a shawarma, or do you get chicken on the rocks?
I got
chicken on rice?
Osmos, I got the chicken on the rocks. But
good call.
I don't know. I'd rather support
local
Ariana than support Osmos. Also, Ariana, I think, is better than Osmos because it just feels more authentic. I talked to people I talked to like a couple people, and they told me that, you know, like places in Toronto that's real authentic. I mean, I don't know what real authentic shawarma really is, but I thought Ariana's I find it pretty good, like the hummus, and he puts a big block of feta on there too. It's crazy.
Really,
so I'm like, I like that type of stuff. So it's more of like but yeah, I don't know. At Osmos I get the chicken on the rocks, and then at Ariana I get the shawarma plate. So.
Well, you got to remember, there's Osmos is a franchise, right?
Yeah.
So Ariana is just a local shawarma spot. Guys hustling to pump out good food, right?
Yeah.
So that's the difference. Where we used to when I used to go to Osmos like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it used to be, and we used to like drive.
Yeah,
3 or 4 years ago, before it set up in Peterborough.
Yeah.
We used to drive all the way to Etobicoke and Markham area. That like Markham and Etobicoke were two spots we'd go where they have the best like Osmos.
Really? There's a difference in between. There was a difference in between the places.
The one in Markham like is insane. Okay.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But it's a franchise though, don't they have it's like Subway, like they have the same thing everywhere.
Consistency's hard because it's all about the franchisee. So if the franchisee isn't keeping up with the same consistency, or it's not as busy as the ones up north, and it's not kept so fresh, then there you go.
Yeah.
You're gonna get not that consistency. We gotta try your syrup at some point.
For sure, yeah.
But yeah, so.
Yeah.
But the one in Markham, insane. Like, cause I've seen the chicken on the griddle.
Yeah.
And it's just like a mound of chicken on the griddle, and they're just dudes cutting chicken and putting it on the griddle and cooking it like right there and then. Line up out the door all the time, all the time. It's insane. Yeah. So another world for different areas, right?
Yeah.
Toronto's a different game.
Yeah. More competition, maybe. I don't know.